With us today is author and comic book writer Joe Hill. He's published 3 novels, Heart-Shaped Box, Horns, and Nosferatu, and a collection of short stories titled 20th Century Ghosts. He's also the author of the comic book series Lock and Key. He's the son of authors Stephen and Tabitha King as well, and he has a brand new book out called The Fireman. Now, Joe, I started reading it, and unfortunately, I got it kind of late before we were able to talk with you, so I'm only a little ways into it, but it's very good so far. I love the characters already. It's grabbed me immediately, and I can relate to the people in the book, so that makes it good for me.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
How long was this in the works? How long have you been writing The Fireman?
About 4 years. Fireman is a story about it's a plague novel. It's a story about a runaway pathogen called dragon scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this stuff, there's no cure for it, and you get it on you, and you can't get it off you. And it's a fungal infection, but it's not a gross, odious fungus infection like athlete's foot. Instead, this is actually sort of beautiful. It stripes your body with black marks that have little gold speckling in it, and it almost looks like a beautiful tattoo. But when you stress out, when you feel anxiety, it starts to smoke, and if you can't control your fear, you burst into flames and die of spontaneous combustion.
Yeah,
this stuff is everywhere. It's burning down hospitals, and neighborhoods are going up in smoke, and it's a major global catastrophe. And I'm not sure there was any one moment where the whole story condensed for me, where the idea suggested itself, but I know that I started the book about 4 years ago, and there was a presidential election going on at the time, just like there is now.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, one of the candidates running against Barack Obama was the governor of Texas, and he said he didn't believe in man-made global warming. And Obama had a joke where he said, this guy doesn't believe in global warming, and his whole state's on fire, which was true. At the time, there was an enormous, out-of-control wildfire in Texas because the land was very parched and dried out. And I thought it was a striking remark, and I was thinking about it, and I started to think, yeah, what if that fire in Texas was everywhere?
Yeah.
What if Minnesota was burning? What
That
if
would be good.
New Hampshire was burning? And what if it was like whack-a-mole? Every time you got the fire out in one place, it popped up somewhere else. And I was trying to think, what would do that? And I thought, this is really a viral infection you're thinking of.
Yeah.
It's a nationwide infection of fire. And that led naturally to thoughts of spontaneous combustion, and I went from there.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to arrive at it. But yeah, that would make the most sense because it would be the quickest way for something like that to get around.
The spread,
it would be in us, taking it everywhere. Yeah, and this is also going to be made into a movie, I've heard.
Well, that's what we hope. It was optioned by Temple Hill and 20th Century Fox,
Mm-hmm.
and they've signed a director to handle the project, Louis Lettier.
Okay.
Louis is a cool dude. He directed a surprise hit called Now You See Me that starred Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
And it's about these stage magicians put on a heist.
Mm-hmm.
And a great movie, a lot of fun, very cool. And Lewis also directed The Incredible Hulk, which is the Hulk movie that's good, not the weird Hulk movie that Ang Lee directed that nobody really liked.
Yeah.
So he's handling it, and hopefully there'll be a film. I don't ever believe it until they've got cameras rolling, but they've certainly the will to do something cool is there.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a great plot for a movie. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it comes out and we'll be able to go see it at the theater. But I'll tell you, nothing ever beats a book. So
you're good to say so. I agree. I agree. I endorse this comment 100%.
I was going to mention to you too. I've read 2 of your other books, Heart-Shaped Box and Horns, which was the first book I picked up by you. I had really no idea about your connection to your father, and I just saw the book on the shelf. It just said Joe Hill, Horns, and I'm like, that's really pretty simple, title. It just kind of grabbed me. I pulled it out. I saw the cover. It just had the pitchfork on it. I'm like, okay. I flipped it over, read the back. Yeah, I'm buying this. This looks good. I like this. So that's the first book I ever read by you, and then I went out and picked up Heart-Shaped Box after that.
Great.
And the only book I haven't read, and everybody tells me, oh, that's the best one, is Nosferatu. And I'm like, I haven't gotten around to that one yet. So.
Well, there's still time. The world hasn't caught fire
Yeah,
yet, so there's still a
that's
chance
true.
to squeeze that book in.
I still have a little time. But yeah, it sounds really good. And that book, you're right now in development with AMC to
Yeah, AMC
do
has talked about
like a
doing it as
series?
a TV series that they'd pair up with Walking Dead. And, if you were going to be in business to make a TV show with anyone, you'd probably want to pick AMC.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I watched The Walking Dead. I've watched several of their other shows. Well, of course, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was tremendous.
Yep, that was a great show. Hell on Wheels, I liked that one. They just do a really good job. Preacher's coming out here soon.
Yeah, Preacher looks like it's going to be terrific.
So, yeah, they do a great job. It doesn't look like they use a lot of money and make the special effects look good, so nothing comes off cheap looking like the Sci-Fi Channel.
And it's very mature storytelling. It's very grown-up storytelling. The rap on AMC, the riff on them, has always been the TV show that they're doing TV shows so good that they're like novels. And I think that's funny because when I wrote The Fireman, I was kind of thinking, like, I want to write something that feels like an AMC TV show. So I structured The Fireman to have 9 parts, and each part is like a standalone episode in this larger first season of a show about the world on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So if AMC was inspired to do, novelistic storytelling, they've also had the effect of making some writers like me want to do novels that feel more like those TV shows.
That works.
That's great. Hey, Joe, I saw on your website that you're going to be in Minnesota this week. Where can we go to see you in person?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Majors and Quinn at the Uptown Church in Minneapolis on May 21st, 7 o'clock p.m. I do hope people come by, and I'll scribble in books and answer questions and read a little bit of the story. We'll have a good time.
Okay, here's my question to you. I got sent an advance copy of your book. If I come up there with that, will you sign that one, or do I have to purchase one when I get there?
No, you can go ahead. I don't know now. I don't know what the rules are, but I suspect that you will be able to bring your own book and get in just fine.
Okay. I appreciate that.
In a worst-case scenario, though, you might have to buy 2, and that's all right.
Well, then you know what? I'll pick up Nosferatu then.
Okay, sounds good.
That's good. Hey, Joe, I have a question about Nosferatu, quick for you,
Sure.
if you don't mind me asking it.
Sure.
Do you potentially see some sequel, like maybe Christmas Land is still haunting Wayne?
Right. So the third novel, NOS 4A2, that's a Vandy license plate. And when you sound it out, of course, it spells Nosferatu, the German word for vampire. And it's about a wicked man named Charlie Manx who takes children to a horrific amusement park called Christmas Land. And I don't want to give away any spoilers about the story, but not all the kids from Christmas Land are still floating around out there. I did actually return to that world for a graphic novel called Wraith that tells some additional stories about Christmas Land. But that's almost more like a prequel than a sequel.
Okay.
And it tells some earlier stories about Charlie Manx and about those kids. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't promise anything.
I'd read it if you wrote it.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
I'm sure
Maybe.
a lot of people would.
I've also thought about The Fireman that there's a possibility of a sequel, but I don't know for sure. I like those characters and I like that world, so it's always possible there'll be a chance to do some more there.
All right, cool.
Well, I appreciate you joining us this morning. I know you've got to roll and go to another interview here in a second, but thanks for coming on with us, Joe.
Thanks so much. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Author Joe Hill and his latest book, The Fireman, available in stores and online now.